Beginning, the match no one wanted. The arena on Vorith Prime shimmered under twin suns, banners fluttering across the training grounds of the United Defense Accords. Humans, Varethians, and dozens of other species mingled uneasily. Soldiers, diplomats, and warriors gathered for what was called the pairing ceremony. For humans, it was meant to celebrate unity between species. For the Varethians, towering reptilian humanoids with silver-blue skin and crimson eyes, it was something closer to ritual, a way of testing honor, loyalty, and compatibility through combat and trust. Each new alliance was sealed by pairing a soldier from one species with another to train, fight, and live together for a cycle. When they read the final pair aloud, laughter rippled through the ranks. Human designation: Lieutenant Eric Hale. Varethian partner: Unit Zhara of Clan Drenar. Even among aliens, Zhara was considered different. Taller than any of her kind, with faint scars across her scaled arms and a facial crest that gleamed silver instead of the usual blue. She was infamous for her silence, her size, and the fact that no one ever chose her, until now. The laughter grew louder. Poor human. He's going to break his bones trying to keep up with that one. Maybe they'll start a circus act instead of a squad. Eric ignored them. He'd fought alongside aliens for years and seen this kind of mockery before. What struck him wasn't Zhara's height or strength. It was the way she didn't react. Her golden eyes didn't flinch, didn't narrow, didn't show pain. She simply looked forward, waiting. When the pairing ceremony ended, she turned and said flatly, "Report to Training Ground 7 at dawn. Bring endurance gear. You will need it." And without another word, she walked away. Middle, the challenge and the bond. Zhara trained him like a machine. For the first week, Eric thought she hated him. She pushed him through zero-gravity obstacle runs until his lungs burned, forced him to spar against her full strength, and corrected his stance with the same tone one might use to instruct a malfunctioning droid. "Your movements are inefficient. Again. You hesitate before you strike. Again. You are too focused on my size. You think size determines victory. Again." By the fifth day, he collapsed mid-run. Zhara stood over him, expression unreadable. "Are you quitting?" "I'm taking a breath," he wheezed. "Then breathe faster." She turned away, but for the first time, Eric thought he saw the corner of her mouth twitch. Not a smirk, but something softer, almost approving. Days turned into weeks. As the training intensified, so did their understanding of each other. Eric learned the strange pulse rhythms that passed for laughter among her people, and she began to speak more freely around him. Her voice, low, resonant, and calm, carried something unexpectedly gentle when she spoke without command. "You do not fear me," she said one evening, as they rested under the alien night sky. "Should I?" "Most do. They see me as a weapon or a mistake. You look at me like I am a soldier." Eric glanced at her silhouette against the stars. Tall, scarred, strong. "Because that's exactly what you are." For the first time, Zhara didn't correct him. She just stared at him for a long moment before saying quietly, "Tomorrow, I will show you something. The ritual of trust." The next day, Zhara brought Eric to the cliffs beyond the training base, a windswept canyon glowing with bioluminescent vines. At the edge of the drop was a platform of alien stone, carved with symbols. "This is the Rite of Vidar," she explained. "A Varethian tradition. 2 warriors stand upon the precipice, bound by purpose. If they trust one another, they will leap and land as one." Eric frowned. "And if they don't, they fall." He laughed nervously, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. Without hesitation, Zhara extended her hand. Her massive palm dwarfed his, her claws retracting carefully to avoid harm. "Do you trust me, human?" she asked. He looked at her hand, then at the drop. His instincts screamed no, but something in her tone made him answer yes. They jumped. The air roared past them as the canyon swallowed their screams, and then, impossibly, a burst of light surrounded them. The bioluminescent vines reacted to their combined biosignatures, creating a glowing energy field that slowed their descent. When they landed softly at the bottom, Zhara turned toward him with an expression he'd never seen before. Pride. "You did not let go," she said. "You didn't either," he replied. "That is why we lived." That night, the other soldiers heard laughter echoing from the canyon, the sound of a Varethian and a human, laughing together for the first time. The Battle of Orith Vale. Their partnership was soon put to the ultimate test. A rogue faction of Varethian warlords, rejecting human alliances, launched an assault on Orith Vale, a colony settlement deep in the neutral zone. When command ordered Zhara's squad to hold the valley choke point, she insisted Eric lead the ground coordination. The higher officers objected, but she silenced them. "He sees patterns you do not," she said. "He hears silence where others only hear noise." As the battle raged, Eric coordinated drone strikes, redirected power grids, and used guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver the enemy. Zhara fought beside him, a silver blur of movement and strength. The two moved in perfect sync, not through words but trust. When an explosion tore through the ridge and debris rained down, Zhara shielded him with her body, taking a direct hit. Eric dragged her to cover, shouting into his comm for med support, but she pushed his hand away. "No," she said weakly. "Go. The shield generator. Not without you." He tore off his armor plate and used it to seal her wound, ignoring his own bleeding arm. The shield generator was their only hope, and together, limping and bleeding, they reached it just as the enemy's final assault began. When the generator reactivated, the entire valley pulsed with light. The enemy retreated. The warlords were captured. And for the first time, when command broadcast their names across the commnet, it wasn't mockery that followed. Team Hail Zhara, mission success. Aftermath. Respect earned. When they returned to base, the same soldiers who had laughed at the pairing now saluted them. Even the Varethian High Command acknowledged their success. But Zhara ignored the ceremony and approached Eric quietly afterward. "They mock what they do not understand," she said. "But they cannot mock victory." "We make a good team," he said with a grin. "No," she corrected softly. "We are more than that." Before he could reply, a new voice interrupted, the Varethian ambassador herself. "Zhara of Clan Drenar, you have earned the right to choose your permanent bond. As per our customs, you may select any warrior you deem worthy." A murmur swept through the gathered crowd. It was tradition for high-ranking Varethian soldiers to choose a partner for life, as comrade, protector, or mate, a declaration of eternal trust and allegiance. Zhara turned toward the assembled warriors. Her gaze swept over them, then rested on Eric. She stepped forward and placed her hand on his chest. "I choose him," she said simply.